Welcome back to the BJJ Fanatics Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ford. My guest today is a cult icon in the Jiu-Jitsu community. He is a fifth degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a no-gi world champion, a multiple-time Pan Am's champion. He's currently teaching at La Marinda Jiu-Jitsu in Lafayette, California, just outside of San Francisco. You may have seen him featured on TV. He was on Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. And on YouTube, his Move of the Week videos have been a huge hit for over a decade now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today for our 25th interview together is my good buddy, Kurt Osiander. How are you today, Kurt?
What's up, bro?
Good to see you, man. How are you? What do you have in your head, dude? What is that?
This is my new beanie that my girlfriend got me. Yeah. It has an LED flashlight, so if I lose my way, I can punch in and I.
Nice. Yeah, you don't look like you're gonna do a B&E or anything like that. It looks totally legitimate.
I don't do beanies.
Okay, not anymore.
If I break and enter, I'm probably gonna kill you.
That's true. You got a lot of weapons in the house. I know you're down to go. So
more than likely, it's not gonna be to steal things.
Yeah, right. It's just gonna be just for pillaging, and crushing.
Yes.
Kurt, catch us up, man. I know you're obviously, for everyone that listens to the show, they're well aware you're going through some recovery from your hip surgery. How's it going, man? How are you how are you feeling physically, and how's the recovery going?
I just got one on November 16th. So that was my second hip. And so now I did like my 6 week, my post recovery on like right before Christmas. And so I was like, hey, look, I'm thinking about rolling. And my doctor's like, no.
No, you're not.
Look, I was thinking about starting to roll around right about now. And he's like, no. So I don't know what everybody else, maybe some other guys have some insight to like hip replacements, whether they were posterior or anterior, it doesn't matter. But like, my doctor is like, yeah, just fucking walk around and get good at that. And the difference is a big difference. I mean, it's a big difference because I'm not in pain and my back is not in pain. And so, I mean, I can't walk around like as good as I used to or do anything as I used to, which is really kind of like the trauma, but I'm definitely not as in much pain as I used to be.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, you don't want to be living in pain 24/7, because I know it got pretty bad for you at one point, where even sitting down in certain positions was excruciating for you. So yeah. Well, it's a bunch better than that, because it definitely alleviated my back pain. So I'm not hunched over like Gollum. Yeah. And so. Kurt, can I see a quick favor, buddy? Could you move your camera up just a little bit? I can just see your jaw. We can't see that badass LED beanie of yours. There we go.
How's that?
That's good. That's better. I appreciate it. So, man, Kurt, we're kind of in an interesting time right now for both you and I. So I'm just coming back from a much less serious injury than you've been dealing with my MCL tear.
Well, you just had your knee blowout, right?
Yeah, I tore my MCL, and that was a couple months ago. It's a lot better now. So what,
did they scope it, or did they go in there, or did they replace it with like part of your hamstring?
No. Thankfully, I didn't have to get any surgery at all. So what they did was they did an MRI, and it's kind of crazy what happened. So I was passing guard and I slipped on a sweat spot on the mat, and my knee collapsed inward towards the floor and tore the MCL. Then it was starting to get better a few weeks later, and my son, I was in my house. My son, who's just a little over 1 now, stuck something in his mouth, like a piece of something on the ground in his mouth. And my wife from across the room was like, Ryan, get him, because he's going to choke on that thing. So I sprung up off the couch, and I was wearing socks on a rug, and I slipped and fell the exact same way with the exact same knee, and it popped again. So
probably punched your child.
Yeah. Just resort right to the corporal punishment for anything the kid does.
That's all your fault.
So yeah, so what ends up happening is I tore it again exactly the same way, and I don't know what the damage was because I only got the MRI after the initial injury. But the point with all this is that it's much better now, and I'm going to go back this week. At the time of recording, to see how I feel and just kind of move around a little bit. I'm not looking to train too hard because I don't want to.
I would suggest half guard.
You told me that. You told me half guard.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of half guard doesn't fucking stress a lot of MCL, that's why it was invented. But I mean, that's just me. Like I'd blow out a knee and I'd be like, fuck. So I'm kind of fucked for this week, but then I'd like wrap it up and then I'd put the bad knee towards the floor and work half guard.
That's exactly what you told me like the week I injured it, because you and I were talking. I was like, damn, dude, cause I've been really lucky with injuries throughout my journey in jiu-jitsu. I've never had to have a surgery. I've had just really kind of relatively minor things compared to a lot of people I've known. But the reason I bring all this up, man, is that, so I'm at the point now where I'm going to be going back to training and seeing how it goes. I expect it'll be fine. You're at the point where you're recovering now after the surgery. So that's kind of the theme I wanted to follow in our discussion today, is kind of like the idea of remaining a dedicated student of the art when you can't physically participate.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I know.
I really don't know like how many guys have like done hip replacements and like continue to train or like be active, like really active, like I am. But so far my doctor's like, no, you can't go back. What are you, fucking crazy? And I'm like, well, I've got good news. I got bad news.
You should just listen to some of your past interviews we've done, and he can decide whether or not he thinks
like,
you're
look,
yeah.
I am crazy, and I think that since you replace these parts, I should be able to do whatever I fucking want. But they're telling me that my legs will move like G.I. Joe's legs.
That's good for guard retention.
Well, I don't know. If my legs spin around in a clockwise motion, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. So yeah, I don't really know. I'm just trying to like get by.
I understand that. Yeah. And I'm sorry to hear that. And I definitely hope that, that obviously you can still eventually train the way that you used to, or at least stay active and stay teaching and stay moving around.
Well, I'm definitely teaching, and I can do the moves and stuff like that and teach. So I went from 3 days to now I'm teaching 5 days. And so I'll probably start picking up some night classes and get back to teaching like all the time. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do.
That's good, man. I'm happy to hear that. Well, so on that note, there's a lot of students sometimes have to take time away from the mats. It can be due to injury, it can be career or family obligations. It's natural to feel frustrated about that, obviously. And I think that the first thing that comes to most people's minds when they're away from training jiu-jitsu is that their jiu-jitsu is deteriораting. They're thinking like, oh, everything I've built now.
It's not true. If you keep it in your head and like all my moves, but then again, I got like 20,000 hours on the ground. So like, I haven't forgotten my moves. I haven't forgotten anything. And I definitely haven't forgotten how to teach and everything. I probably I rolled around with a couple guys, like while I was like recuperating and stuff like that and did some stuff and like that, but I can really control the situation. So, I don't know when it goes back to like training like competitively and stuff like that. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I understand. Well, there's something you said earlier. You mentioned that half guard was created for that very purpose. It's something that Gordo was doing back in the day because he had an injury that limited him as well, and it led to him revolutionizing the half guard position. He realized, hey, this is a place where I can comfortably play. This is a place where I can both set up sweeps, attacks, and everything else. And he really grew it into a pretty dynamic position that we all use today. Do you feel like that this is an opportunity for you to maybe find areas of your game that you can really like hone in on and use effectively?
You have to, right? You have to, no matter what, how you cripple yourself or you're crippled, you'll figure out a way to do things, right? I mean, I think that's what's really innovative about human beings is like you can cripple them or torture them and people will figure out how to get around it, right?
It's absolutely true.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do horrible things to people and they'll go around it. You can do anything to anybody and they'll go around it, or they'll figure out a way to deal with it, right?
It's absolutely true, man. Yeah, it's one of the beautiful things about the human spirit is that, yeah, we're able to overcome some pretty serious adversity, and you know, there's even like philosophies that exist all about intentionally trying to find the hardest paths that are available to grow as much as you can as a person. So I think it's a great attitude you have about it, man, because I know it's frustrating to be in the position that you're in right now, but it seems like you have a really good perspective about it, and that you recognize that this is an obstacle that you will overcome.
Well, yeah, I can only hope, right?
Well, man, if you're teaching, if you're able to still teach and do the moves, I mean, I feel like part of what you love so much about jiu-jitsu is the ability to pass on all the knowledge you've collected over the years to other people. And you're a phenomenal teacher. I've learned from you personally when I was visiting you out there. And
that's kind of why I took on it was okay, I got my 6 week after I got my second hip on November 16th, I had my 6 week after Christmas, and then I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna roll around. And my doctor was like, no, you're not. You're gonna sit still and do what you do and do what you can and everything. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going from 3 days to 5 days, and so I'm gonna go from 3 days to 5 days and probably pick up some night classes too, and then start teaching more. And I mean, at least that keeps me on the mat and I can move around and stuff like that and still show stuff. So that's for me, psychologically is really kind of really important.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, and that is another thing that I think a lot of people that have to take time away from is, for a lot of us, jiu-jitsu is our social life. It's our connection to other people. And I know that being laid up the way you've been laid up has been hard, just because you haven't got to see all the people that you care about. And yeah.
Otherwise, I don't like other people.
Most people that you meet outside jiu-jitsu are terrible.
No, other humans. Well, fuck. Well,
you take them or leave them, Kurt?
Totally. It's like, why would I even talk to you? Ever.
Jiu-jitsu provides you a perfect vehicle to just choke them all. You can choke all the people that you meet.
If I don't like you, I can choke you or do horrible things to you. But other people, it's like, fuck, what am I going to do with this person? I really hate them.
There's all these pesky legal parameters of choking people in public.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You'll be arrested.
Yeah. It's no fun. Well, we were talking earlier about how, sometimes when you take time off, it does allow you to kind of gain new perspective on your jiu-jitsu. And, when I'm personally unable to train for stretches of time, I find that jiu-jitsu is obviously always on my brain, but it's more on my brain when I can't go. And that can really be torture to a certain degree. But I think it also does give me a really good time to reflect on my own game. Have you found that, I guess, involuntary time away from training can sometimes be helpful to your development?
I got to be a really way better teacher. I mean, because now I have to focalize on teaching everything really, really right, and correct scenarios and correct drilling and stuff like that. So I think my transfer of information is definitely become better, right? So I think that's what you get from being injured, right? So that's what I think that happens to if you get really injured, you know how to at least transfer your information more concise and technically.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see that. Yeah. Well, the other thing that comes to mind as we're talking about this is that, eventually, time catches up to everybody. And whether you're injured or whether you get through your jiu-jitsu journey relatively injury-free, at some point your body's just not going to be the same in your 50s and 60s as it is when you were in your 20s. And I think it's good to keep these kinds of things in perspective. Like, Kurt, you've found that you absolutely love teaching people and you love transferring knowledge to people, and that's what makes you show up still. And I think it's important for people to have their why and try to make it a why that's timeless. Because if you're only thinking about God, yeah, well, that's all we've all got though, man. Like, it's a certain point where you can't compete all the time anymore.
I'm running out of things I can do. I mean, right? So I might as well be good at what I do. And so, I mean, I really wish that the hip replacements were like as solid as I would think they would be, like as replacements, and I could make a total comeback and then be really competitive again, because that's just me. So, but I don't think that's going to happen, and so I'll have to concentrate on my students and my teaching and being a good teacher and doing that. So that's kind of like what I'm kind of like forced to realize, which is fucking harder than fuck.
But Kurt, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's the hardest thing, is like, fuck, what? Now I can't fight people. I can't kill them anymore. I can't do a lot of things.
Yeah, but Kurt, don't you think that's kind of a natural progression anyway, though? Like, don't you think eventually everyone's going to hit the point where they can't quite do those things like they used to anyways?
Yeah, I'm sure, but I really did not foresee this being... Then again, my injuries were like far more like evolved and stuff like that, so that it was like affecting my walking. I couldn't walk, I couldn't do stuff and stuff like that. And then like replacing my hips definitely improved my life and everything. But psychologically, the way I think about it is like, how can I put this? Psychologically, I feel that these effects are more than physical. It's a lot psychological. So it fucks you up in your head. And that's why I feel like a lot of like high level athletes, it doesn't matter what sport, after they make their run and stuff like that, and then you did everything so hard for so long, and then you can't do it anymore, it totally fucks you up.
I can understand that, man. I would say if I can give you just advice as your friend, man, reflect really hard on all the things you accomplished. Dude, you accomplished so much that most people that do jiu-jitsu won't ever do. Dude, you're a no-gi world champion. You're a Pan Am's champion multiple times. You've got a huge following of people who are just love you, man. Like you really are like a really, really beloved figure in the community. And dude, that's something that like imagine you were like just some guy who lived in like Oklahoma somewhere, or somewhere in New Jersey, and you were just a regular everyday guy that does jiu-jitsu, and you were in the same situation, minus the fact that you're a beloved teacher, got a great following on YouTube.
That was kind of like what I wanted to do, is like something like Hal said to me a long time ago. He's like, look, you can either be this guy or you can go fucking further and be in the top 10%. And so I was like, well, fuck that. I don't want to be just like some other guy. I want to be the top 10%. I want to be at the top.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely a sacrifice. And the guys that have done that sacrifice know what I'm talking about, because it does not come without cost. You're not going to be able to walk. you wake up in the middle of the night and your hands are clenched and you go.
I've seen you do that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You wake up and you go, and you go, oh, fuck. Well, it absolutely has a cost. Everything has a cost, but you can, I mean, it's easy to be like just one of the others, but if you're going to fucking really push yourself to the extreme, there is an extreme cost, right?
Well, I would say that, man, obviously you accomplished that goal. Like if that conversation you had with Half back in the day was about getting to that upper percent, not just being one of the everyday practitioners and being someone that's, you know, recognized and accomplished. I mean, dude, you've certainly achieved that, you know, and then some. So I don't know, man. I kind of feel like I understand that you're a very competitive person and you like competing. You like
dude, you know, not being able to train is not good for
it's not
me.
It's not that's not good for anybody. So I understand. Yeah.
So that's the hardest part. Is like, are you going to roll ever again? I'm like, I don't know. I think that if I roll, if my legs do what G.I. Joe's does, and suddenly, you know, my fucking hip comes out, my doctor's like, dude, if your hip comes out, you're going to scream. And so I'm like, fuck. So right now, I'm just concentrating on walking and stuff like that and getting done around the house and shit like that. I got to fucking put my fucking manifold back, my stock manifold back into my car because I need to get smogged and shit. And I'm like, fuck, I remember taking it out, but how do I fucking put it back in? And fuck.
It's the story of my life,
just
man.
stupid shit.
Dude, I'm the worst. Like with working on things, whether it's handyman stuff or anything with a car, dude, I'm the worst. I'll take things apart and then be like, oh, dude, I didn't write down or take pictures of anything.
And when I had my attack, I had an attack, and then I haven't finished my addition is not done, and when it rains really hard, I can hear my bass, not my bass drum, but one of my toms, like doom, 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 with the fucking drips of water in my fucking house. And I'm like, fuck. So there's definitely a lot of sacrifices I've made where, like, I'm happy if I can walk and do stuff, but I haven't been able to like do like what I nearly could ever do. So,
well, I mean, keep in mind, it's also important to remember you're pretty fresh off your surgery. So I imagine that, like, with the right amount of physical therapy and the right amount of healing, you're going to find that you can do more than you think you can right now.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah. So
that's probably pretty likely, man.
I kind of push myself too hard, and so I'm like, I'm going to go do this, and they're like, no, you're not.
It's that old school Ralph Gracie San Francisco Jiu-Jitsu mentality, man. It's a very hard-nosed style out there, and I think that's you really do carry that in a lot of ways in your personality too. So I would just say, dude, just take your time, just heal up, recover. You're teaching now. You can certainly probably get to the point where you'll be able to do like positional training and things like that. Maybe you can't go like.
No, I mean, you know, I'm still teaching everything the same way I do, and I can still, you know, do my hooks or teach all the positions and stuff like that, and in situational training and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's kind of cool. Like, so I get there a little bit early, I stretch out, you know, I get a little bit warmed up, and then, you know, I already know my lesson plan, and so I know how to teach it.
I remember when I was out there with you, one thing that really impressed me about you was that, you know, you were at that point, you were pretty hunched over at that point. Like your injuries were really visibly.
But that was my hip damage to my back, and now my hips are good, and so my back is fine, and so I'm not. I'm like,
you got your posture
I'm back to my. I got my posture back and stuff like that. So
yeah,
now I'm just worried, like, how much can I tax my hips?
Yes. Well, I remember that at the time I was there, this was like probably, what was that, like 2018 that I was out there with you? I think it was 2018. Yeah. And so you were pretty hunched over at that point. We drove to the academy, and then you stepped out on the mats to teach or warm up or whatever, and you were on the ground like anyone else. Like you didn't look like you had any sort of limitations. And I remember thinking,
if you're on the ground, you're fine.
Yeah. Like, dude, you were shrimping and you were moving around and doing your warm ups. And I was like, dude, I can't believe that's the same person, that's the same body that just was a little hunched over walking in here. You never know that and then when you came off the mat, you were walked off a little hunched over. So I imagine that if your jiu-jitsu stays intact under those circumstances, with your posture back now and a solid recovery plan from your surgery, I mean, this should be better, man.
I find that I think a lot more cerebral, like in my positions and stuff like that, and transfer the information way better.
Yeah.
Like way better. And I'm like, if you guys want this shit to work, you're gonna fucking do it the way I do it, or you can invent your own jiu-jitsu, and when it fucks up on you, it's not on me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying earlier, man. Is I think that you should really focus on the fact that you are a really respected and beloved teacher, and you're very good at teaching, and that's not something that a lot of people can say. There's a lot of people who get hurt in jiu-jitsu who just can't train anymore, and then they have nothing else to bring forward. They don't have the ability to make instructionals or YouTube videos or teach classes or do seminars. I mean, this is all, you're still going to be incredibly connected to the jiu-jitsu community overall moving forward. Whether you heal up.
I haven't been to a tournament or anything for for quite a while. So I might go out to this tournament out here, Jiu-Jitsu World League out here and make an appearance out there and see what's going on.
That'd be that's Hegan's tournament, right?
I don't know. It's a good tournament. I mean, it's a good title. I mean, if you win your shit, it's always a good title.
Nice. Yeah, I thought that was Higan Machado's organization, but if I'm wrong, I apologize to those guys.
Well, World League.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu World League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought maybe that was Higan's, but if I'm wrong, again, my bad.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know whose it is. I know that if I go out there, I'm going to see a bunch of my friends, and so it's more for me to make an appearance and go and say hi to a bunch of people.
That's awesome, man. Well, Kurt, let me ask you this, man. Like, when someone's been given the clear to return to the mats after an injury, like, what do you think are some of the most important tips to approaching training? Like, what are some do's and don'ts over the years that you've experienced when you've come back from an injury?
Fuck, I'm the worst person to ask that.
Yeah, that's probably
because fuck, we didn't do recuperation, we didn't do therapy, it was like we were faced with this. It's like, are you pussy? And we'd be like, no, I'm not a pussy. Well, get the fuck on the mat. And I'm like, and then you go on the mat, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I'm not a fucking pussy. So the thing is, I think that the newer guys are a lot more smarter about their training and a lot more smarter about recuperation and therapy and et cetera, and recuperating correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like, it's like, your leg's not working. My leg's not working. And it's like, then use your other leg. And we're like, all right.
Yeah, there really is a pretty stark difference between like the old school mentality and the...
No, it's like, look, you're either fucking, are you injured or are you fucking hurt? It's like, I'm only injured. Well, then get the fuck on the mat.
Yeah.
If you're hurt, then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Do you think that if you could do it over again, would you be doing kind of what people are doing today rather than that way? Or
no, because I wasn't raised that way. So it was like, look, are you training today? Or are you out? And I'm like, fuck, there's no way I'm fucking out. But that's totally old school mentality, and like that's why the old school guys are all fucked up and fucking, they're hurt, but they're fucking really good. Why? Because they didn't stop. So, I mean, that's all a mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like old school guys like, I didn't like Megaton and Panompia and Gordo and Holeta and fucking Miragai and fucking all the guys that were like top guys. They didn't have any injury time. Those guys fucking soldiered through and they were tough and that's why they were tough, because they were like able to go beyond, right? And if you go beyond usually the limitations of your body.
Yeah, there is a weird dichotomy there where there's obviously benefits of toughing through things and building that physical and mental toughness, but then the downside is, like you said, everyone in the end ends up a little mangled. So there is a bit of a balance there between the two.
And then like my newer guys were like, oh no, I'm hurt, and so I'm gonna sit out for a few weeks and get treatment and do rehab. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you should do. But you're a pussy.
So basically for Kurt, if you see a doctor, you're considered.
Look, I get look. I understand that you're being a pussy, and it's cool. And you'll come back later and train really hard and be really cool. But if the guy can break you that way in a match where you'll go, oh, I'm hurt. Oh, fuck. I have to acquiesce and fucking give ground. That's what his mentality will be set at. Whereas if you're fucking set at like, no, you're going to have to fucking cut my limb off, beat me with it, and then fucking stab me to death. And I'm still not going to give up. Yeah. So that's the old school and the new school. And the new school way is like, these guys are going, okay, I'm injured. I'll go get therapy. I'll get, all the treatment, and I'll come back, and they're still good. So there's something to say with that too, because but then there's mental coaches to get you through that part, where we didn't have therapists, we didn't have mental coaches, everything was like kind of like done in a most barbaric way. In the most barbaric way you could ever imagine.
I can imagine. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said for the new way of doing it, because it equals longevity. Like obviously you want to be able to.
Well, train. Yeah, you can last and maybe have a career afterwards, and like I like to see like the newer guys like who are doing really good now, like Mikey Musumeci, he's fighting in one, and Bushesha, and these guys are just like so good on the ground, and then fucking no matter who comes at them, they're just like, fucking fuck you up. Your ground game is fucking shite, and there's a bunch of other guys that are like, I'm fucking so tough and so hard that, they come in there with that style also. So I like seeing that. And I like seeing the guys that are like tougher than shit. And they're like, no, I'll fucking fight you. I'll fight both of you tonight, and then the other guy next week, which is really fucking nice also to see, is somebody that's hard.
Well, it's interesting too, because it does, like you said, it comes down to it's a person by person thing, and I think that anyone that has a legitimate injury should really err on the side of caution. In my opinion, I think that longevity is the most valuable thing that you could be focusing on if you want to keep training for the rest of your life. But like you're saying, if you're a competitive athlete, there's countless examples throughout all different sports where someone was hurt or sick or something like that, and they showed up and competed anyways, and had a tremendous performance, or maybe it led to a better opportunity later when they were healed up. So
that transfers over into like any professional sport.
Yeah.
You know, like football, but I mean, you know, anything you do repetitively at a high level, which is like football, soccer. Oh, you like soccer? Yeah. Soccer is a fucking hard sport, harder than fucking baseball. Needless to say, soccer is way harder than baseball.
Yeah.
You don't have to run in baseball. Nobody's chasing you and trying to kick you in your legs.
Yeah.
Did you watch World Cup this year? Yeah. What a fucking game.
Oh, man. I saw the recaps.
As long as France didn't win, I was happy.
Well, there go your opportunities for seminars in Paris, Kurt. Way to go. So,
oh my God.
So,
but needless to say,
yeah,
like all professional sports require a sacrifice, and it's all based on the human who's going to do the sacrifice. And if you want to excel further than the other humans, you will make more sacrifices, right?
Yeah, that's fair to say. And like we said, there's been lots of examples of people, everyone from Michael Jordan to lots of guys in Jiu-Jitsu too that have competed injured, or people in MMA especially who have been fighting through injuries and ended up winning titles, or at least getting great wins in the sport to move up.
Like what I'm looking forward to is the Brazil UFC.
Oh, the one that's going to be hosted down here.
Yeah, because I want the old guy to win.
Yeah. You like Glover?
Fuck yeah, I do.
I like him too.
And I started even later than him, and he's only, 45 now?
I think that's about right. Yeah. Yeah, he's an animal,
but
man.
he's a fucking stud. No, I don't think you understand. He's my fucking hero.
That's awesome.
But I didn't start until like 45, 46 either. And I never saw that as a barrier.
Cool.
So like I that's the reason why I like him so much, because I think he's a fucking stud. He's a fucking stud.
Yeah, he is. Have you seen his fight lore? Do you have UFC fight pass by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen his fight lore documentary that they did about his story?
No, I can watch it. If my girlfriend puts it up, I can watch it.
It's good, dude. If you're a fan of his, I really recommend it. He has an incredible.
I am
story.
because he's like my age, but he's not. He's much younger. But it's like this guy can fucking win all of it. He's a fucking stud.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I like what you said there, man. You said that you've never viewed your age as a barrier, and that's something that I think is nice to hear for people that start jiu-jitsu a little later than others. What do you think is the biggest, I guess, helpful piece of advice that you can give people that start after 40 to not limit themselves mentally? Because I think sometimes mentally, when you're over 40, you tell yourself, "Oh, I'm older than everybody, therefore I can't do X, Y, and Z." What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's bullshit. I think that, in fact, that because you're more mature, you have the ability to make better decisions than making like flagrant displays of strength. How's that?
That's pretty good.
So
I like that.
I think I can outwit you better than you can outstrength me. That's what I think. I mean, if my jiu-jitsu is better than yours, my jiu-jitsu is always going to be better than yours. Right? So that's what I think. I mean, maybe you can get out of some of the stuff that I'm doing to you because your athleticism and your youth, but I'm going to chase you down and to a point where I'm gonna be able to do what I want. I'll chase you into a corner where you can't get out. So as for older guys doing jiu-jitsu and like going, fuck, I hate fighting these young guys. It's like, fuck that. Fight all of them you can, because they're all going to jump and do crazy shit. But if your jiu-jitsu is high and tight, you're going to always beat them. It doesn't matter how athletic, and it's just going to take longer, right? It'll just take longer, and I'll still get you.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's just really like really leaning into the technique and the strategic side of jiu-jitsu.
You have to be devoted to it.
Kurt, let me ask you, man. I wanted to circle back and ask you one more thing that I forgot to ask about coming back from injuries and things like that after being out for a while. There's a lot of people who have been away from jiu-jitsu for non-injury reasons.
Unless you've had children,
right?
If you haven't had, if you had children, job change, location change. I mean, those are all viable things.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually exactly what I was leading to. So for people that have been out for non-injury reasons, this is very common with people, over 35, is that you have kids, you have career obligations, you have life obligations. What do you think are some realistic expectations for those types to have when they come back to training? So they're not physically.
Those guys are usually fucking young, and so they can come back and there's nothing lost. I mean, the more time you take off, but if you might take time off and still be athletic and physical, and if you keep it in your mind and you still think about it, it definitely is not going to take too much of a step back. So, I mean, I've had guys come back from having children, a career, et cetera, and they came back and they're like, fuck, I'm really worried. And I'm like, stop worrying about that stupid shit and worry about, doing what you're supposed to do. I think that concern is more of a psychological concern than it is a physical concern. I mean, I myself am more psychologically concerned that my legs will come off or dislocate in a strange way where then I have to be taken to the doctor, and they gotta fucking pop my fucking shit back in and everything like that. So I don't know how much of that is possible, but the doctor's like, no, you can't do that. He's like, stop doing the splits. Don't do that. If they were healthy when they left, and they left because, okay, I got married and then, knocked my chick up, and then we moved, and et cetera, et cetera. There's all kinds of variables, right? But I think that their concern is like, fuck, I don't want to come back and get my ass kicked. And it's like, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Right, yeah. There's no way around it. Yeah.
There's no way around. You're going to get your ass kicked. People are going to feed you yourself to yourself. And then, you'll get better, and then you come back into your prime, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of like an ego thing.
Yeah, it's ego management. Yeah, definitely.
Right? And like, if you don't care about your ego, which I don't, it's like, if you're going to kick my ass, then come and kick my ass. But later,
when I recover, you're going to pay for that. Yeah.
Later, I will be remembering all these things.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that is definitely a good piece of advice, man. I think for the people that are not physically injured and just have had time away for life reasons, when they come back, having the expectation that, yeah, dude, you're gonna get beat up a little bit for sure.
Well, you're gonna come back and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna still be number one. Well, yeah. I doubt it, but
you'll likely find that people that were way behind you before have now at least
are ahead of you now.
Caught up,
And also the game has evolved so much that beginners are so much better than they were 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
Right? I mean, the evolution and the progression of information assimilation is beyond what it was. Yeah. Because when I started, there was no internet.
Yeah. Right.
We didn't have cell phones.
That's true.
There was no fucking dating apps.
You sound angry about that.
I think that really made a lot of difference in a lot of things.
Probably did.
And like people not getting laid.
Right.
Because you couldn't just go, oh, I'll swipe left and then, whatever. There was no swipe left. There was no nothing. There was like, you had to go out there and fucking be on the point.
To accelerate jiu-jitsu though, technology for sure.
Totally. Technology. Yeah. Look at what the little kids are doing now. Little kids are doing reverse de la Riva, fucking upside down sweeps, all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah. I go to watch the little kids fight just because I want to see what little kids are doing, and I'm like, I didn't know that until I was like 40. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this 10-year-old is fucking doing it really, really good. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck. And I just want to go up and slap them so hard. No, really hard, right in their head. And I'd be like, And then I run away before their mom comes.
Oh, dude. I can relate though. I can relate because like I've seen like when I watch kids classes, or even not even kids, just like beginners classes in general, like the stuff that they're able to do and the things that they know, it's like, man, I was purple belt when I was figuring out some of that stuff. So
I'd never seen any of this stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty insane. It's pretty insane, the acceleration overall. So, well, Kurt, I'll tell you what, man, we've reached a point of the show. This is typically, as you know, we usually play the pummel here, but you've played the pummel like literally 15 times at this point.
But I like it.
I know, but I don't have any more pummel questions for you. So I'm gonna switch to something else. We're gonna play this or that, okay? So I'm just gonna give you two options. Not a whole lot of explanation. I'm just gonna let you choose which option you like better. All right. So here we go. Chocolate or fruity flavors?
Chocolate.
Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath or Ronnie James Dio Black Sabbath?
Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath.
Good answer. Judo style for takedowns or wrestling style for takedowns?
I like a combination of both.
They're both great. It's hard to choose one.
I'm telling you, for like fighting, I would go more judo.
Cool.
But that's just me.
Why is that? Why is that for fighting in particular?
Because you're clinched the upper body. And if you shoot in, I'll sprawl and I'll fuck you up.
That's the same reason that a lot of guys that came from Greco backgrounds have had such great success in MMA. Like
my dad's a Greco guy.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he's from the old country.
Well, he played soccer too, though, right? Your dad was pretty successful.
Yes, he's a very evil German.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, dude, the upper body style of clinching, like you said, like with Randy Couture and Dan Henderson.
Greco's great for fucking. It's great for MMA, and I think also a lot of trips, picks, and judo throws are very, very viable. I mean, I always thought that.
Yeah, no, I agree, man.
More than me shooting a double or a single leg.
Sure, yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate what you said too. Is that having both is awesome. They really, you should obviously be mixing up all your.
You have to mix them both together.
Yeah, all your grappling styles, especially for takedowns. There's so much great options out there. Cooked sushi or raw sushi?
Raw.
Good answer. Is cooked? Do you feel that cooked sushi should be called sushi?
No.
No, it's not the same thing.
If it's cooked, it's not sushi.
Right. Answer.
Fuck.
Good answer. Would you rather live in a high rise in a big city?
No, wait.
Okay, right.
How can cooked sushi be sushi?
Right. So California rolls, anything tempura. It's not the real deal.
I like I'm an EB. I like sushi. I like anything like really raw, especially tuna. And then if cooked sushi, it would be like a cooked roll. Then it would be a tempura roll with like, stuff like that. And then it's deep fried, but it's still killer. But otherwise, no, there's no such thing as cooked sushi.
It's raw or nothing for Kurt. I like that. Do you prefer the metal scene in the 80s or the 90s?
80s.
Good answer. What about, would you rather live in a high rise in the big city or a farmhouse in the country?
Farmhouse in the country.
Nice. And why?
Because then I could walk out on my porch naked with 2 machine guns.
That's why I asked. I knew something along those lines was going to be the answer. So I had to have you elaborate on that.
Look, I can't walk out of my high rise naked with 2 machine guns.
That's true. Yeah. Unless
people will complain.
Probably there might be some kind of homeowners association in the building, and
the HMOs would be like, fuck. That guy keeps coming outside naked with machine guns and a bullet belt on.
Yeah, they're your girlfriend just said they're HOAs, not HMOs. HMOs, you've been in hospitals too much.
I don't know. I don't know everything.
But yeah, the HOAs. There's probably very strict protocol about nudity with automatic rifles on the porch. I'm sure.
That's why I would live on a farmhouse where I could come out naked with machine guns.
And your neighbors would just be like, "Oh, hey, it's Kurt. How's it going, man?"
I'd be like, "Hey, what's up?"
America.
I mean, America. God damn right. You motherfuckers.
Country Kurt rules. How about beach or mountain vacation?
Beach.
Nice. Exotic sports car or speedboat?
I would rather have a speedboat.
That'd be fun. How about, would you rather live in feudal Japan or ancient Rome?
Oh, fuck. I'm ancient Rome.
Ancient Rome. And Kurt, could you angle your camera up just a little bit for me one more time, buddy?
Yes.
There we go. Thanks. So ancient Rome, and that would be. I could see either answer being what you would pick, because I know you love Japanese.
I know. I really like feudal Japan too, but ancient Rome. Oh my God.
Gladiators.
Well, who knows what I would have been? You could have been the guy fucking slopping out the fucking horse stall.
That would suck. Yeah, that would not be worth the time travel for sure.
You know those guys that do like, your past life you were. It's like, your past life you might have been the fucking guy who fucking wiped people's butts.
You could have had a horrible life. That's true. That's true. Who says you were a fuck? Oh, I was an emperor. But hey, you were the fucking stall boy. But what exciting times for emperors if you have your own personal wiping person. That's exciting times. If you're in that right position. If you're in the bad position, if you're the other way around, it's horrible times. But
oh my God. Look, I want to go see one of those people that do like their visions of your past life, and I want to see what they say about me, and I'll be like, what?
It's like, I'll have you know I come from a long line of stall wipes. Oh,
I was just a wiper? Oh, thank you.
You're higher up than anyone in your generation, if that's the case. Even if
I was the head wiper. Oh, thank God, I was the very best wiper.
Kurt, spats or shorts?
Shorts.
No spat. You don't wear spats at all for Nogi?
Why?
You feel like a superhero or something. I don't know. Why do people wear spats?
Do you know why people are gay?
So no spats.
No.
Okay. No spats. All right. Fine. How about okay? Final question for the this or that game. Would you rather swim with sharks or skydive at night?
I would skydive at night with swords and fight sharks at the same time.
Sharks. That's brilliant. I love that.
And stab them.
Yes, you tied it all together, man. So you would assault sharks, an aerial assault with swords.
But I always tell that to people. They're like, "What's your extreme fighting? What would you do as an extreme sport?" I'm like, "I would skydive naked with swords and fight sharks." And they're like, "What sport is that?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Kurt, you're always naked. What's with your hatred of clothing, man?
I don't really like clothing.
I have a feeling. Look, I have a feeling I
think clothing is really optional.
I have a feeling that a lot of establishments have asked you to leave over the years.
I didn't take my clothes off.
I know.
I just didn't come in with them.
That was pre-nudity. Pre-nudity, Kurt, was still too much for some establishments. What establishments have you been asked to leave over the years? There's the castle in Japan that they asked you to get down.
They said, "Get off the castle."
Get off the castle. That's a story you've told in the past. So far, you haven't had any infractions, clothing related, or the lack thereof, that have caused you to be escorted or asked to leave any establishments.
No, not that, because I was naked. No.
All right, well, good. So you don't like clothes, but you do conform to society's need for them. That's good. Yes. And Kurt, that was the final question for the this or that game. Congratulations, you win. So let me ask you another one, man. So let me move on here. So while you've been recovering, you and I always talk about shows and movies and things like that we've seen. Have you watched anything good lately?
Dude, have you watched Bloodlines?
No, is that the vampire series?
No.
Is it a cop show?
It's even better.
No, what is it?
It's like Florida family. It's like Ozark.
Okay. No, I've not seen that. Is it on Netflix?
No, you gotta watch Bloodlines. Bloodlines was really good. Have you watched Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, I've watched Peaky Blinders. Yeah. Peaky Blinders is good.
No, it's very, very good. Bloodlines was really good. Bloodline, yeah. If I was gonna say, if you're gonna fucking invest in a fucking series, watch Bloodlines, because it's good. It's got a lot of twists and twirls and narcotics and stuff.
It takes place in Florida, right? So that's not too surprising. That's awesome.
Florida.
Did you ever see Queen's Gambit?
No.
Dude, that's good. It's kind of a drama. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a psychological drama kind of, but it's really good. It's about this girl who is into chess, and I can't remember. I don't think it's a true story, but it's although maybe it is, but it's very good. Queen's Gambit on Netflix. I recommend that.
I'll check it out.
I think there's like 8 episodes total. It's like a limited series, so there's not like different seasons. It's just like 8 or 9 episodes, but it was really well done. What about Seaspiracy? Did you see Seaspiracy yet on Netflix?
No.
That one's crazy. That one's crazy. You got to watch that. Seaspiracy is good.
All right.
Yeah, it's all about the like commercial fishing and like the impact it's having on everything from like the environment to like the economy to everything, people's health. It'll probably change the way you look at fish, but it's been interesting. It was an interesting one.
Well, that's why like when you look at like codfish, it's like fish from the sea.
Fish from the sea.
It's like, what do you mean fish from the sea? It's like fish from the sea.
Yeah, not test tube fish. This is it's kind of like when McDonald's came out and said now with white chicken meat or real chicken meat or whatever they said. It's kind of what the hell was I eating? What the hell were we eating before? You know what I was watching the other day, man, that I hadn't seen in a long time was Legacy.
Have you seen Viking Valhalla season 2?
No. I saw season 1. Season 2 is good.
Oh my God.
I like how stoked you just got. That was great.
No, I watch all kinds of stuff, but I only watch things with swords and killing.
Yeah, that's standard viewing for Kurt Osiander. If there's no swords or no killing, there's just no interest.
If there's no swords and killing and wizards or something else,
Yeah. And what are we even doing here then?
crazy, Otherwise, I watch 48 hours. First 48 hours.
48 is good. Yeah. First 48 is good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then what else do we watch? I'm a Killer.
Oh, I'm a killer.
And,
yeah. Did you see the Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh my God, the Jeffrey Dahmer was awesome.
Yeah.
How about the other awesome thing was Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Store Wars.
Oh, Store Wars.
Customer wars, and people come in and they're like really obnoxious customers, and then get electrocuted or fucking taken care of by their own patrons and stuff like that. It's awesome.
It's all like surveillance footage and stuff like that.
No, it's
cell phone cameras.
People coming in and misbehaving in a store, and then they get electrocuted because you get tasered because you're a giant Sasquatch white trash piece of shit.
Wait, is this like a game show? Like they send people in intentionally?
It's not a game show.
So it's real footage.
It should be a game show.
So it's a compilation. That would be an awesome game show.
No, I'm making it into a game show. I just need people to put money behind me, and I'll make it a game show.
Just get a guy loaded up and send him into a store.
You come in and try to act obnoxiously into a store, and then you get electrocuted or fucking tased and or put down by the fucking security force.
Yeah, there'd be a point system. The more things that you break or the more obnoxious you are, the more you score.
It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
He's going to throw a mannequin through a window. That's a 3-point conversion.
No. And he's making love to the mannequin.
Oh, no. That's a if you can do that, man, that's like a sudden death win right there.
Holy crap, he came in and made love to the mannequin. He's mounting the mannequin.
Oh my God. Oh, what a show that would be.
I don't think you understand. I've seen things on TV that I can't re-see.
Yeah.
I can't see them anymore.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. So this show. So Store Wars. I have to look this up. So it's a compilation of footage of people being crazy in stores.
Of people going into the store and misbehaving really severely.
Have you seen the video of that girl? There's a girl who works at a Best Buy, and she's built like a rugby player, man. She might have been Samoan or something like that, but she was She was strong. This girl was strong, and this dude was trying to steal something, and she basically just kept shoulder checking him to keep him in the store. And this guy, to save his life, he couldn't get out of that store. He couldn't get past this girl.
All right,
that's amazing.
Check this one out. This one's like stores, right? And this guy's in there, and he's like, I want a straw. And you have to request a straw now. And so he reaches across it's a Wendy's and grabs this black girl's fucking shirt.
And she hits him with a 2-piece, the jab punch. She boxes him.
Oh, bro. No, I don't think you understand.
That was such a good video.
She lights him up so badly. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's still hanging on.
I love that video, dude. It's unbelievable. Yeah, she hits him with a 1-2, then she grabs his shirt and pulls him in and hits him again. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this video, the people listening, if you haven't seen this video, you got to go look it up. I don't know what restaurant it was. It might have been a Wendy's.
It looks like a Wendy's.
I was going to say it might have been a Wendy's. Yeah. And dude, this girl, she clearly has done some boxing in her life, because these were not amateur. This was not off the cuff. Punches.
No, she goes into a straight hockey drill.
Yeah, after she hits him with the 2-piece. Yeah. She grabbed his shirt and starts ripping him in and hitting him. Oh, it's hysterical. So yeah, it's cool. So there's a show dedicated to all this kind of shenanigans called Store Wars. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Dude, the best part was this one meth head Sasquatch comes in the house, comes into Kmart. I think it was Kmart. And she's waving a knife around, and the cop's put the knife down. And she's like, you guys don't know that. And she's like,
Oh, and she gets tased into the clothing rack.
And she goes,
Yeah, and she fuss. I've seen that one. Yeah. It's the white lady in the Walmart. Yeah, she falls. She goes like
call her a white lady if you'd like to.
I think she was. That's just what she was. I think. But she goes stiff and falls like a tree. Falls into a.
She falls.
Are we talking about the same video?
Holy.
She falls into a clothing rack, right?
Yeah, you're like.
Oh man, YouTube is a fun place. You can find some crazy stuff out there. That's awesome. You know what I was watching for the first time in a while was Legacy, Renzo Gracie's documentary, and there's a lot of people. That was like really during your time that you were fighting and competing a lot and stuff back in the day, huh? Like that. I'm
gonna have to check it out.
You haven't seen
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, bro!
Where's it at?
Oh, it's on YouTube. I'll send you a link. That's an old one, bro. That's been out for a while.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah. They had Half on there, and they had the Camarillo brothers and BJ Penn, and like all the people that you were training with are in this documentary, man.
Except for me, huh?
I don't know where you were, man.
I must have been somewhere.
You were out partying that day.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, you gotta watch. I'll send you the link.
Bullshit.
Legacy.
Bullshit.
Oh,
That's doubtful.
Oh, it's incredible, man. It's an incredible documentary. I think it came out like. Man, I don't know what year it was, but it came out when Renzo was fighting in the early Pride, and when he fought. It was before he was in the UFC again. So it was Pride. It was there was another organization he fought. Oh, it's when he fought BJ Penn, Rumble in the Rock, in Hawaii back then.
That was in Hawaii. I wasn't there.
That was that was BJ's father's promotion that they fought in, and dude, awesome documentary though. Like he talks all about his life and.
Have you watched Sandman?
No, what is that about?
It's supernatural, weird, crazy,
spooky stuff.
I like crazy shit.
Yeah, I do too. I love sci-fi and like horror and all that kind of stuff.
If I watch reality, I watch people and I just go, "Holy shit!" Have you watched? Is it weird or what?
No, I haven't seen that. What is that?
William Shatner.
No, I didn't know he had a show.
Oh my god,
is it good?
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's hysterical.
What channel is it on?
No, it's like Netflix or Sling.
Oh, okay.
It's called "Is It Weird or What?"
I love this chat. There's something on the wing. Something
on the wing.
Dude, I'll send you the link to Legacy, and I'll check out both Star Wars and Is It Weird or What? That sounds.
No, Weird or What is good.
I'll check it out.
I'll check it out. Good.
Dude, did you get any new? Have you still been doing any drawing or any tattoo work since you've been laid up?
No, I haven't done shit. I haven't done anything.
I got my new ink since you and I talked. So you remember last?
I know.
I was telling you that the guy I was getting that I was interested in getting work done from. He's based out of Rio, and so what happened was I was in the U.S. for like 2 months during the holidays to see my parents and stuff, and. Right before we left, I told Karen, I'm like, hey, can you message him and explain to him that I want to get on his wait list, because it's like he has like a 1 year long wait list, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, this guy's he's really, really well known and an accomplished tattoo artist in Brazil, but he's based in Rio. So I said, let him know that we want to, try to get out there maybe towards the end of 2023 and all that. And so she messages him, and he goes, where are you guys located? And she says, well, we're in Sao Paulo. He goes, oh, really? And he says, are you near Vila Mariana, or Vila Madalena, which is the neighborhood next to ours? And we're like, yeah, we're in like the next neighborhood over. And he goes, he says, I'll tell you what, I'm actually here today and tomorrow because this dude from Uruguay that was supposed to meet me here canceled. So I'm just here at the studio. So we're like, done. So like I said, basically I got to skip a 1 year wait just randomly. So I went and got the work done. So I really like what he did.
Cool.
But yeah, his name's Rafael Lobo. He's on Instagram, Rafael Lobo. He's got this really, really cool like sketch, neo-traditional black work kind of style that he does. It's really dope. So I want to get some more work from him done soon, but I wanted to tell you that because I know that you and I talked about the stuff I was planning to get before the last time I interviewed you. So
cool.
Yeah, man. How about any new weapons you've picked up since we talked?
Besides my automatic crossbow?
You got an automatic crossbow?
Yeah, watch.
I didn't know that was a thing.
No, it's from Germany, of course.
Of course.
Look.
All right, now don't kill the dog. Be careful.
No, I won't. Needless to say, it has a clip of about 7 to 10 darts.
Oh my God.
Which are a foot long.
Oh my God.
And all I do is I pump and shoot.
Wow.
Or I can put normal darts in it, but it's basically like an Air 15 style with a red dot, and then it's if you're running from me,
you better run quick. Better zigzag well. Yeah.
If you're not zigzagging, even if you zigzag,
you're gonna get perforated.
Yes,
that's crazy. Dude, they banned the crossbow back in the day because it was such an unfair advantage on the battlefield. Imagine if they had one of those.
So back in the days, so when the crossbow came out, so they realized that it would penetrate armor. So that's when the medieval knights decided to go, oh shit, this fucking crossbow is so devastating. We should double front our fucking plate in the front. And that's why they would fall off the horse and then fucking drown in the mud.
Oh, damn.
So they would double front their armor in the front, and therefore they would be too heavy to get up out of the mud if they were knocked off their horses.
Oh, jeez, dude. That's a horrible way to die. Just face first in the mud.
Face first in the mud, and then, but usually somebody would come up and put a pig sticker in you.
Wow. Yeah, that would not be a fun way to go.
No, the evolution of armaments is so interesting because the crossbow didn't come from England; it came from the eastern provinces.
Yeah, it came from the Mongols, right? Was it the Mongols? No, the Mongols.
Exactly.
Was it the Mongols? Did they?
The Mongols had a recurve.
Yeah, they had the recurve. That's what it was. They had the big long. Yeah.
They had a recurve, but Constantinople and the Silk Road brought the crossbow to Europe.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
And then there was repeating crossbows. And so I have like a repeating crossbow.
Wow, that's incredible, man. I'm reading a book right now that it wasn't on the topic of warfare or anything like that. It was more just the topic of like sharing ideas and kind of networking and stuff. And they were talking about how the cannon itself was a mixture of Chinese gunpowder, English metalworking, and there was one other culture. Oh, the Muslims, the Ottoman Empire. They had
the Ottoman Turks.
Yeah.
When they laid siege to Constantinople, when they finally took Constantinople, the bay was shut off so that they couldn't go that way, and so they took their ships up and over a mountain, and then down into the bay, and then laid siege to Constantinople, and then with huge cannons, like huge cannons, they laid siege to Constantinople and then finally took over Constantinople, which made it a Muslim state.
Wow.
And to this day is. And that was the last remnants of Rome. It was the Eastern, like after Rome fell, so Rome fell to the Visigoths and the Goths. And so what was left over was Constantinople, which was like Eastern Rome.
Wow, that's incredible, man. Yeah, it really is interesting how like multiple cultures can touch something and it all they all contribute their own piece to it, and then it becomes something that we know today of like the canon.
Those guys did some shit though. They fucking humped their boats over a mountain and then slid them into the bay, and they was like, okay, so you guys, we're gonna block our. They put up a chain, right? So you can't put your boat across it, and then you're stuck out there, and then you take fire. And so they went around and then fucking dragged their boats up on slides and shit all the way around.
Wow, that's incredible, man. Yeah, that's something I'd like to learn, like read more about. Is like just the old, like the evolution of like technology, like battle technology from back then. Because they came up with some pretty brilliant stuff for the time they were in. Like they were limited with some of the technology that we have today.
The Mongols took that all because they fucked up the
Yes.
fucking Chinese.
They took everything. Yep. And that was actually this book I'm reading. That was actually precisely what they were talking about. They were saying that like one of the things about the Mongols is that they would destroy or take over a place, but then they would have like consultations with like the most educated and all the military leaders and try to pick their brains and learn from them and offer them like a sort of a comfy position.
And then they'd go, "You motherfuckers are marching this shit in front of us, and I'm gonna fill that fucking moat with your fucking bodies, and then I'm gonna fucking march my shit over your fucking bodies and take that fucking place."
Yeah, the Mongols were brutal, man. Genghis Khan was a brutal dude, but it's interesting how you know, when you go through like all throughout history, like it's interesting how all these discoveries and technologies and stuff passed hands, and you know, all the knowledge passed around itself too. So, Kurt, man, let me ask you this in closing, man. What are some of your like big goals for 2023? Like, do you have like a New Year's resolution? Do you have anything you hope to accomplish this year?
I'm trying to get my ID so that I can travel and so that I can do at least one seminar a month.
Okay, cool.
So if you got anybody who wants me to come to their fucking town, disrupt their sleep.
Storm naked through your local Kmart.
Run about naked.
I know a guy. Yeah.
You know a guy.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, dude, I definitely hope that all comes to fruition, man. It'd be awesome to see you out there on the seminar tour and, you know, sharing your knowledge that you've accomplished, that you've gathered through such a long career, man. For anyone out there that wants to keep up with Kurt, it's really easy to do so. He's active on Facebook and Instagram. If you type his name in on either platform, you'll find him right away. Also on YouTube, guys, he's doing his Move of the Week videos again, which were stopped for a long time, but now he's starting to add new ones every week, which has been really cool to see. So you guys make sure you're subscribed on YouTube to his YouTube channel. Again, if you type his name in, his channel will pop up. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to get notified when new videos get added. And then, guys, if you want to learn from Kurt directly, he's teaching at La Marinda Jiu-Jitsu in just outside of San Francisco in Lafayette, California, so you guys can learn from him there. If for some reason you can't make it out to California, you can learn from him anywhere in the world here at BJJFanatics.com. His instructional is called Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade. It's one of our best sellers, and it's got something for everybody. So support Kurt in those ways if you're able to. And Kurt, we got to do this again, man. I miss doing these more frequent podcasts with you. We got to start doing these more often.
Whenever you want. I just like doing the pummel and your crazy questions.
I appreciate it. From now, you know what I'll do? I promise the next time you come through, I'll have a new set of pummel questions written. I've got 100 questions written out for all guests. But dude, you've seen them all. Like, you've been on 25 times, so it's, you know, we've run out of those. But I'll make some new ones specifically for you, I promise. And
cool.
Awesome, buddy. And that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and please stay tuned for the next episode of the BJJ Fanatics Podcast.